Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our YouTube live session for Trending Thursday, what's today's date? The 5th of 2021. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here. Love being here. Glad that you're all here on our live channel as well. If you can hear me loud and clear, by all means, please respond in the affirmative, preferably with VV Nation. Once again, thank you all for being here and supporting the channel. If you're brand new to the channel, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Help us to grow this channel. Hit the like button if you like the content. And most of all, hit the bell icon so that you'll be alerted when new content comes across on this live channel. We do send out an alert right now. Looks like everybody's gotten it, and they're slowly but surely coming in. Do me a favor if you can as well. If you can share this link on your social circles, by all means, please do so. I figure if everybody shares the link with at least one person in your social circle, we can get a lot of people to come up in here, all right? So do your part. Only you can help us to grow our channel. That was good. You like that, right? Yeah. Sitting side saddle to me is Joey. He is my producer. Say hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
He's always in the background. We never see his face. I have to see his face all the time. And man, ugh. Anyway, well, it's all right. It's all right. You know, you know what happens after this? Yeah.
What happens to you?
I love my sound bar. He's the one that set up my little sound bar for, it makes me feel very Kramer-like, And then when we look at stocks that don't look so good, I do this. All right, so that's what I'm going to start doing when I look at a stock that doesn't look so good. I'm going to do that. So, again, glad that you all here. Glad that you're chiming in. This is very interactive. I want you guys to ask questions. Joey points out any questions that I may miss. The link does not work on MySpace. Is MySpace still around?
Mm-hmm.
It is, really?
Are you not friends with Tom?
Tom who? Norton?
MySpace.
No.
Oh.
I don't have MySpace. You have MySpace?
Yeah, you gotta get it together, man.
I don't have MySpace. I don't know. Hey, Joey, Glenn is just mean to you. Oh, really? Really? I am never mean to Joey. Never mean to Joey. There's still a MySpace. I'm saying the same thing too, Roger. I didn't know if there was still a MySpace out there. All right. So let's get hot and heavy and into this because this is what you guys came here for. I always talk about what's going on in the market, especially starting from the market as a whole, all right? You need to be on the right side of the market, so we try to look at what's going on in the market, what's making the market do what it do, whether it's bullish, bearish, or neutral, what's making the market do, because the market is the key to all of it, and you always want to be on the right side of the market. So what I'm going to do, let me make sure I have up the right screen. I'm going to bring up this screen, and then here we go. As we get into the software, we're looking at the home page of the VectorVest system. Now, even though we use the VectorVest system to do everything that we do, many of you may not have VectorVest. Well, and that's fine. As long as you have a system that can do some of the things that we do here, that's going to help you to make the right decisions of knowing if you're on the right side of the market at any given time, right? Number two, if you like what you see here from the VectorVest perspective, you can always take a trial. We have a trial for all you guys out there in YouTube land, 99 cents for a 30-day trial. 99 cents. Look down below this video. You will see a link for a 99-cent trial. And a lot of people who are in here are VectorVest subscribers. Listen to them. I can tell you that it's a great tool, all right? But if you listen to the subscribers that are already in here who are subscribers to the software, listen to them, ask questions, and they do a great job of helping me out to help you new people who are interested in the channel. So talk to them. Do you actively invest in the market? Absolutely. Absolutely. And hold on, I'm going to bring up something. Where's that at? I'm going to bring this up just for a second. Hold on. I'm going to move this over to here. And let's go see. I can see what's in my account today. Talk about actively trading. Let's see what I'm doing today. Today, nice move in the market for me. All right, because I want to be honest about what I'm looking at. Today, I'm up over $3,000 in the market. I'm in, and I try to be clear about what kind of stocks I'm in. Currently, I'm holding Because again, I think this is a good question. I'm currently holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stocks. I'm currently holding 7 stocks. The big mover for me today is AMC, up over 11%. My second biggest mover today is GME, up 6.5%. Senseonics is up over 3%. Riot is up over 3%. I've got a little itty bitty company that's up about 2%, and Apple up about 0.3%. And I'm still in XROF, and it's up less than 0.1%. So that's a great question, and I'm never afraid to answer that question. All right. Never afraid to answer that question, Sif. Yes, I do actively trade, and I just let you know all of the stocks that I'm currently holding right now. All right, so great question. I'm all about it. CTRM, I know, and I'm not currently in CTRM, but that's a stock that I've been talking about. If you haven't been watching our videos on our other channel, folks, you're missing out. I've been talking about CTRM for quite some time, and today it's moving. XROF, what is that, Jay? Don't start with me. I know you know XROF. XRO Technologies, the Canadian company about the little electric motor. All right, so I'm in that one right now as well. So Asif, great question, and I will never shy away from that, but I still want to keep it clear on what stocks I'm looking at. All right, so as we look at the homepage of the software, and remember, if you don't have VectorVest, it's okay. As long as you have some semblance of a tool to help you from a market timing perspective to make sure that you are on the right side of the market, that's what's important. We have our little traffic light right here, our color guard, a lot of yellow. So what does that tell me in this market? Whether the day is up or down, is that there's a lot of caution in the market. And when I look at the market timing graph, I'm going to show, is the market starting to get a little tired? All right, and I think that that's important to know. If you're making decisions on what stocks to get in or get out of, market timing is so important. So let's do this. All of the major indices, as you can see here, are up. The Dow is up over 200 points. The NASDAQ up 100 points. The biggest mover looks like today is between the VectorVest Composite, which looks at the over 8,900 stocks that we track, and the NASDAQ up about 0.6% as well. So tech stocks are moving, and overall, our basket of over 8,900 stocks is moving up as well. So from this perspective, let's talk about why the market looks the way it does, especially with all of the caution being talked about in the VectorVest software. I'm going to open up and go to my first story. All right, and from here, first story says the Fed Governor Waller sees reduction in bond purchases possibly starting in October. So as the Fed starts to scale back on buying the debt, that's going to affect the market. And I think looking at that whole idea of the traffic light, looking at our indicators with all of that yellow, that aids and tells us that there is a lot of caution being advised in the market. The Fed could begin tapering bond purchases as early as October. Waller said he would need to see consecutive strong job reports in August and September to agree to tightening policy. So that's going to take me into my next particular story about jobs. So as we get into here, U.S. unemployment rolls shrinking. So that means more people are looking for jobs. But it's interesting as you say that. U.S. unemployment rolls shrinking in boost to labor market recovery. Why are we looking at labor market recovery? Because if any of you are out there going to restaurants like my wife and I did last night, a lot of restaurants are being affected by short staffing, all right? Because a lot of people may be getting back into the work market because a lot of the states are cutting back on the unemployment benefits, the extensions of the unemployment benefits to help during the pandemic. Well, if they're cutting back on that and people are not getting as much money as they were on unemployment, they're going to have to go back to work. So when you look at that, U.S. hiring may have slowed in July amid the COVID surge data. That's in July. Now we're in August, and if the roles are starting to shrink as far as the people on unemployment, then maybe we're going to start seeing a lot less help wanted signs, but we're not going to know the full brunt of that until after August and September is done to see if reducing the rolls on unemployment have affected the help wanted signs that are out there. And last but not least, this is big. Household debt jumps by the most in 14 years to $15 trillion in the second quarter. So if people are not working and they're getting the money is to offset the stuff. But people are relying on credit cards once again. How many of you are in that spot? All right, not to put anybody on not to put anybody on blast, but how many of you have been going back to your credit cards now as the pandemic is starting to stave off and maybe not going back to work just quite yet and yada yada? I'm just curious to know. Mark says they should get taller service so they wouldn't be short. I don't have anything for that. Hold on. We need a drum roll. I need a bump too. Mark, that wasn't that funny. All right. How can anyone have debt with everything closed? Yikes. John, everything is not closed, and people are still going to companies like Amazon and Alibaba to buy their goods. Man, my wife keeps Amazon in business. All right, I can talk from personal experience. My wife keeps Amazon in business. You know, Target looks like a great stock, Walmart, people are still buying. And you know what else coming from a buying perspective? A lot of things that are going on. Now you can get, just about everybody will deliver to your home. So John, think about that. Not everything is closed. Not everything is closed. And a lot of buying is still going on. All right, so these are my stories that are talking about what's going on in the market. Zero depth for the past 20 days. Way to go, Curious. Way to go. That's what I like to hear. At Mark Norman, that was actually pretty funny. Mark, it wasn't that funny. 3 letters, jobs. All right, so as we keep on touch with that, let's go back into the software. That's not where I want to go. I want to go to here first, and let's go to the market timing graph. Well, actually, let's do it this way. I've got 2 stocks. Here's my list of stocks that we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go to 2 stocks that are in here for those of you from a market timing perspective. For those of you who are not subscribers to the software, let's look at the S&P 500. And for those of you who are subscribers to the software, let's go look at the VVC. All right, now that they're both highlighted in my list, these are the 2 stocks that I look at every week from a market timing perspective. Let's bring those over and let's look at the market. I'm going to put on a 6-month graph today. I'm going to take this off and take this off. What's the market doing? Look at that. For the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, almost 2 solid trading weeks. What's the market doing? Market's sitting right at a level of resistance, all right, which is the high of $441.80 on the S&P 500. This is not on the VVC. This is on the S&P 500. But coming into this, bottom left, top right, market's been robust. A lot of volume. Take me off for a second if I do that. Let's look at the bottom. Not only is the market leveling out, but volume is starting to fall.
You're on the wrong one.
Am I on the wrong one? What am I on?
Web stories.
Oh, am I on web stories? It says VV program.
Well, it does now because I changed it.
Well, it said it over there.
No, it didn't.
It did. VV program.
That's when I changed it.
I was no.
You're on this one. Look.
Listen.
See.
And what does it says?
Web stories.
Oh, listen. All right. So no, you get it together. You get it. I'm drinking out of my Duke cup today. You see that? That's right, because he's a Carolina fan. Drink my Cafe Bustelo out of my Duke cup. All right, so the S&P 500 is leveling out, but the 3 and the 8, which I use from market time, from a technical standpoint, the 3 is the green, the 8 is the red. The 3 is still above the 8, and we're still at a level of resistance. This is giving me at least the idea that the market is starting to get tired. Volume is starting to fall off. That makes sense as the market is starting to fall, as the market is starting to narrow out. Here's the VVC, though, the movement of over 8,900 stocks. Today, we hit a new all-time high on the VVC. Bottom left, top right, a little bit more topsy-turviosity going on with the VVC, but nonetheless, definitely moving higher. Glenn, what is your take on gold and precious metals since the asset class isn't moving? So let's do this real quick. I'm going to look at the Huey. All right, that's what we look at for gold. I'm going to put this on the last 6 months, and I'm going to put on a graph layout called the Midas Touch. You know, like the Midas Touch, everything you touch turns to gold. Yeah, I'm not feeling gold. And as if you are a VectorVest subscriber, every Monday in our market timing session, after the market closes, we talk about gold. Gold ain't the play right now. And now I'm looking at two different moving averages, a 10 and a 65 moving average of the stop price of the Huey, which we look for the gold buckets index. RT on it is below 1. The 3 is below, the 10 is below the 65. That's a great question, and I know it's a little bit off topic from what we normally do, but this is gold. Gold is not the play right now. Who just asked me that question? That was John. John, gold is not the play right now. What moves gold? And it ain't trucks. What moves gold? The dollar. Is the dollar strong or is the dollar weak? As the dollar gets weaker, gold will start to move. Right now, the dollar's still strong. The dollar's still strong. Gold is not the play to be in right now. So great question, and I'll put that out there, all right? Hopefully that answers your question, John. Hopefully that answers your question. But both indicators that I look at from the market timing perspective, the market on the VVC perspective, hitting an all-time high, the spiders or the S&P 500 sitting at a level of resistance. The market is starting to get a little tired, but a nice big move on today's candle on the VVC. All right. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions in regards to what's going on in the market by way of the stories and what the Fed is thinking about doing and what jobs are doing and what my two stocks that I look at for the market are doing? Does anybody have any questions? And as I mentioned, if you have a tool that you use for market timing, you need to use it. If you don't, VectorVest does offer these tools that I'm looking at right now, whether it's the spiders or the VVC, 99 cents for a 30-day trial to the VectorVest system. All right. And again, as I'm waiting for any questions to come up, if they do, don't forget, if you find this information useful to you, subscribe to the channel, number one. Number two, hit the like button. How many likes do we have today, Joey?
17.
We have 17 likes. If this is something that you like seeing, folks, by all means, hit the like button. Let us know that this information that you're here looking at is worth it to you. All right. If it's not, I understand why we don't have the likes. But if it is worth it to you and you find some use behind it, please, please, please hit the like button. All right. Let's get into my next story. What's my next story going to be about? We're going to look at the coronavirus stuff. All right. So big news on the coronavirus stuff happens to be the Delta variant. And so I'm going to talk about the three main stocks that are out there for us. Moderna and Pfizer and BioNTech are together, but I'm going to look at them individually. Moderna reports second quarter fiscal year 2021 financial results and provides business updates. So this was done today, August 5th. Moderna vaccine mRNA 1273 final blind analysis for the phase 3 COVID study shows 93% efficacy. So I heard a story that in the next couple of weeks, Pfizer is going to get full-blown FDA approval. And I'm going to think that Moderna is right behind it. All right. And once those are there, then they're outside of the Emergency Use Act and they will be full-blown FDA approved. And that should put a lot of people's minds at ease. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Just to let you know, I am fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. My wife is vaccinated. Well, she's in the healthcare profession anyway, so she got fully vaccinated before I did, but I'm also vaccinated. But that's a good number, 93% efficacy, and this is part of the phase 3 COVID study. Moderna booster candidates demonstrated robust antibody responses to COVID-19, to the COVID-19 variants, whether it's the Delta, the Echo, the Foxtrot, however it goes down the line. And that's in phase 2. All right, dosing starting in phase 1 studies for quadrivalent season flu. You notice you haven't heard much about the flu vaccine? All right, I'm thinking that the aggressive moves going after the coronavirus and wearing of the masks and things like that actually broke down in the flu season to keep people from getting the flu. All right. So Moderna has mRNA candidates in clinical development across 5 therapeutic areas: infectious disease, cardiovascular, oncology, rare disease, and autoimmune disorders. By the way, Sherlise, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. I do appreciate that. And I let everybody know that every week, that super chat, if you wish to pay, you can. It is not a requirement. I never ask for it. But if you really feel that the information is that useful to you, that's a great way to show us if you want to, besides hitting the like button. So Sherlise, thank you very much for the super chat today, my friend. I do appreciate it. So also in this space, was that the only? There it is. COVID-19 vaccine pioneer BioNTech plans to make new malaria and tuberculosis shots in Africa, which is, malaria shots. Malaria is big. I was scared when I went to Africa about getting malaria, and I'm glad that I got whatever shots. What shot did I get that got me sick?
I don't remember. You got all kinds of stuff.
There was a yellow fever. I got something. It jacked me up, something terrible, before we went to Malawi, Africa on our missions trip, our church missions trip. But that's huge in Africa, malaria. And guess what? BioNTech, which is already a pioneer in the COVID space, is now going after malaria. That may not be bad at all. German companies aim to help the continent that imports 99% of its vaccines develop local production facilities. So BioNTech is on board with that. And look at this, how COVID's Delta variant quickly spread. It's a nasty thing. It's a nasty thing in regards to the COVID, the Delta variant. And they say it's extremely, extremely contagious. So all I hope is, no matter how you feel about COVID-19, it's your decision what you want to do. But just try. I want everybody to be safe around everybody else, no matter what you do. All right. So those are my 2 stories on COVID. Let's get back into the software, and let's go take a look at those stocks. Let's go put this here. Let's go take a look at those stocks. So the stocks in this list, I'm looking at 17 stocks today. The stocks in my list are sorted by our master indicator VST, which looks at value, safety, and timing combined on all of the stocks. So 17 stocks, the stocks that have the best combination of VST are at the top of the list. Look what's at the top of the list: MRNA, BNTX, and then I'm also going to bring up Pfizer. Look at where they stand in my list of 17 stocks. All right, that tells you that no matter what's going on with COVID and the different variants, these stocks are making money. These stocks have the best combination of value, safety, and timing, and Pfizer is amongst them in the top half of the list. As I look at mRNA or Moderna, it's got an upside potential by way of relative value to outperform a AAA corporate bond by 87% over the next 1 to 3 years. This stock will continue to outpace the market. BioNTech at 1.83 on relative value, this stock should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 83%, and Pfizer should outperform that AAA corporate bond by 43%. All 3 of these stocks have good upside potential. So when I'm looking to get into a stock to make money, I need to know, will it outpace the market? And all 3 of these stocks will. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. The higher the relative safety, the safer the stock is. Notice that all 3 have a relative safety above 1, with Moderna at the top has a higher relative safety than the other 2. And all 3 are going up in price. Relative timing tells me the short-term price trend of the stock at 1.77, 1.8, 1.23. All of these stocks are in an uptrend. All 3 of these stocks are buy recommendations. All 3 of these stocks have positive earnings, and they grow their earnings in double digits, with Moderna leading the way, growing their earnings at a clip of 60% a year. No matter what's going on with coronavirus, stocks or anything of that nature, these companies are making money. Now that they're all highlighted, I'm going to look at their graphs. Let's take a look at their graph. Wow, there's Moderna, folks. And that's on the last 3 months. Let's put it on the last 6 months. Wow. Look at that. Bottom left, top right. Let's change the graph layout. I'm going to put this on my swing trade layout. 20-day exponential moving average. Rising earnings, growth rate. Man, this is no matter what you think about the coronavirus, this stock is making money. And this has always been my stock of choice when looking at COVID-19. And it's an expensive stock, and I bet you it plays options. If you don't want to spend this kind of money on buying the stock outright, you can always play the options as long as you have shares in lots of 100. So that is Moderna. Let's go look at, BioNTech. Same kind of scenario, a little bit more parabolic in its move, greatly above the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at the rising earnings per share and the rising earnings growth, and look at the volume. So not only is this stock going up, the volume is there to back it up. Today is a down day. Wouldn't buy it today, but overall, the stock's price is moving up. If I'm thinking about getting into it, I'd go about 12 cents higher than the high. And the last one is Pfizer, bottom left, top right, moving up. Down for 2 days, though, coming off of the high that we reached on 8.3 a couple of days ago at 45.86, pulling back off of that. If I'm not in the stock, I'd want to wait to see if the stock could take out that high. If I'm currently in the stock, there's nothing telling me to sell it just quite yet. Rising earnings per share, rising earnings growth. This is exactly what we're looking for. All three of these stocks, and there's other stocks. I looked at three of the main stocks that are in this space, and all three of them are making money. Great. If you're not in them, keep your eyes on them. As the Delta variant, it starts to move around, and these stocks seem to be safe for the Delta variant. They're going to continue to make money, and that's what we're all here about, right? We're all here to try to make as much money as we possibly can, and this is all about putting some of those stocks in your hands, all right? Anybody have any questions on the coronavirus stocks? And if you want me to look at an individual coronavirus stock, let's wait to the end, towards the end, when I can look up all your stocks that you want me to. I'm not ready to do that just quite yet. Anybody have any questions as I take some more coffee from my Duke cup and my Cafe Bustelo? All right, if there's no more questions, I'm moving on to my next story. You know what I'm saying right there? Let's get to my web stories. Let's go over to my next story. Now, what am I going to talk about? Let's talk about earnings. Let's talk about earnings. We're still early in the earnings season. What is this, July, August? So January, February, March, April, May, June. July started the earnings season. We're now in month 2. So earnings seasons is still hot and heavy. And let's go see what companies missed or made their earnings and see if there's still good companies to take a look at. How about Alibaba? Well, with everything that's going on in China, this is a Chinese company. Alibaba misses revenue estimates as e-commerce growth slows, regulatory crackdown persists. And that's it right there. The regulatory crackdown that China is imposing on their companies, they are hurting those companies that are out there. And these are tough stocks to be in right now, but they did miss earnings. We're going to take a look at the graph. And remember what happened with Alibaba. Jack Ma said something, and China didn't like it, and they made Jack Ma sit down on the side and say, "You sit down, and you don't say nothing." And Jack Ma said, "Okay." And that's exactly what happened with Alibaba a while ago, not too long ago, but they missed earnings. Other stock, Nikola. Nikola in the clean energy EV space, Nikola lowers revenue and delivery expectations for 2021. So I keep going back and forth when I look at these EV companies. Are they or are they not being affected by the chip shortage? All right, some companies that are out there saying, no, even with the chip shortage, we're still okay. And others are saying the lack or the chip shortage is hurting them overall in getting their cars out. So I am still looking to see how many of the car manufacturers, EVs or regular car manufacturers, as they report earnings, to see if the chip shortage is really affecting them in an adverse way. John says, Glenn, do you think the NASDAQ will accept sell orders on NVIDIA? Looks like another breakout is going to happen. I don't know. What would stop them if they can take the sell orders, accept the sell orders? I don't know what will stop them from doing so, unless it's going to be one of those over shortage types of things. And you know something, when we look at meme stocks and stocks that are being way over shorted, I am of the mindset that there needs to be set in stone how much percentage of any company can be shorted. All right, and even with that, and I know this is off topic again, but when we look at the main meme stocks like AMC and GME, I'm watching Mr. Gensler, the SEC guy. sitting in the background, asking questions, looking at what's going on with the dark pools and all of the overshorted stocks. And that may help the two biggest shorted companies, AMC and GME, in regards to the whole short squeeze scenario. I likened it on my Twitter account. If you ever want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Glenn Tompkins Jr. on Twitter. I put out there that I think that the SEC is doing a sting or a stakeout in broad daylight to look at everything that's going on, and I'm thinking some regulation, big regulation is going to happen. I've already reported that the companies, that the SEC does have the ability to shut down or make margin calls. They put out a rule out there that margin calls can be happening throughout the day on companies like Archegos, who made a big short position and got screwed and sold a whole bunch of CBS Viacom to overcome their margin calls. So margin calls are out there already. The regulations are there for that. I'm thinking that the SEC is sitting back right now building a case against all these companies that are overshorted. Keep your eyes out on that. But again, I'm putting stuff on my Twitter account, at Glenn Tompkins Jr. on Twitter. Follow me. I do that kind of thing for us as well. All right. So Nikola lowers revenues. We're going to take a look at it. What else? Under Armour. Under Armour shares rise as earnings top estimates. Retailer hikes outlook. That's awesome. All right. So now, why is Under Armour doing well? Because as the pandemic was coming to some sort of an end, people were looking to get out the house. I'm looking at companies like Under Armour, Academy Sports Outdoors, Dick's Sports. All of these companies were starting to rock and roll because people wanted to become more active. So it makes sense that Under Armour beat earnings. That definitely makes sense. And they are hiking their outlook because people listen, softball is getting ready to come back out. I'm getting ready to get on a softball team. Joey, do you do anything active? No? Great. So, Joey, you should play kickball. I think you'd be good in kickball. No, Joey says no. All right. So I'm looking at these things. I think that companies like this should continue to move up. Wayfair, and this came out today. Wayfair shares surge after earnings top estimates and sales stay above pre-pandemic levels. Thinking this is a retailer. John, remember you said everything's shut down? Online retailers are still making money. And I think after the pandemic is done, online retailers are going to still make more money. I'm thinking more people are getting in line with ordering online. Even when the pandemic is under control, if it ever gets to that point, people will always order online. I think that has now become a way of life. So we look at the Alibabas, we look at the Amazons, we look at the Wayfairs, we look at all of these companies that you can buy online. I think that is now ingrained in our culture. All right. And these companies are still going to grow. They're going to continue to grow. And I think they're going to continue to grow exponentially. How about this one? Roku misses. So now, what other big company? I'm going to give you an opportunity to type in the room. What other big company like Roku got hit as the pandemic is starting to subside a little bit? Anybody? Type it in the room. What other big company like Roku missed earnings? I'll wait. Anybody? I know there's a little delay. I'm just curious to know. Everybody should know the company. Everybody should know the company, but another company, not Amazon, Netflix. There you go. It was Netflix. Stop talking bad about AMC. It was Netflix. How can Roku miss with those things in every TV? Well, this is why. Dramatic fall in streaming viewership. And that was the same thing that Netflix went through. A fall in subscribers. Keep in mind, Roku, Netflix are all subscriber based. And you're right, Roku is everywhere. And now when you go to buy a TV, the TV normally says that it's got Roku already installed on it. My new TV that I bought, it was a Roku TV. Do you have a TV that's a Roku TV? You have a smart TV?
Yeah, smart TVs, but I don't think they have Roku.
They don't have Roku. All right. So, but a lot of TVs that you go buy now have Netflix installed on the TV as an app, or Roku installed on the TV as an app. So I'm with you, John, when you say, how can Roku miss with TVs and just because Roku is on the TV doesn't mean that you're a subscriber to it. Think of it from that. Think about it from that way. Greg, I'm going to take a look at Novavax when we look at the stocks at the end of the session today. Netflix is getting into video games. I saw that, and Patrick was talking about in that same sentence with GME getting into that as well, but in a different perspective. But Netflix is, when you have a company that is subscriber-based, and if things aren't working right, what do you got to do? You got to pivot. And I think Netflix is doing that right now. And that innovation is what keeps them going to be such a strong company the way they are. Dilution of subscription services, Peacock, Disney, Paramount. But understand, and I did a story about streaming services on our other channel. When you look at Peacock and you look at Disney and Paramount, those are streaming services, but under a bigger parent umbrella. All right. And from that perspective, that parent umbrella does so many other things that streaming is just the icing on the cake. So just think about it from that perspective. But when you look at Netflix, Netflix is the only real subscription service that's just streaming with no parent company. All right. But a lot of these others, when you say it's dilution, it is dilution. They're going after the Netflixes. That's absolutely right. They're going after the Netflixes, but do those other companies have the wherewithal to really compete with Netflix? Even with the drop in viewership, Netflix is still the big boy on the street, right? They're still the big kids on the block. Remember Kids on the Block? What was it? Was it Kids? New Kids on the Block. These are all the new kids on the block, but when you look at Netflix, they're the big boys. All right, and all of these other streaming services are trying to get a piece of that streaming pie that Netflix has the majority of. My point is they may have cannibalized Netflix. I don't think, well, you know something, I'd have to think about that a little bit more, Mark. When you say cannibalized, I got to think about that a little bit more. All right, I got to think about that a little bit more. All right, so those are some of the stocks this week that came up for earnings, some that hit, some that missed. Let's go take a look at them in my list. What's up here? Under Armour. Look at the first stock from the earnings hit or miss where it sits, towards the middle of the list. What else is in here? Roku, Wayfair, Alibaba. No, it wasn't Alibaba. It was it Alibaba in this one? Earnings? Yep, it was Baba was in here too. I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these were some of the biggest companies that I saw out there that hit or miss earnings. And look at where they all sit. Even with the hit or the miss of earnings, look at what they got. All right, so let's go take a look at them. Actually, let's analyze them. Under Armour. I like this stock. And especially with going on with the pandemic subsiding with the exception of the Delta variant. Overvalued. Upside potential, it's above 1, just barely so. It'll be right even. Right now, based upon the analysis, it'll be right even with the market. Whereas Wayfair, on the other hand, has got a relative value at 1.22. This should outperform the AAA corporate bond by 22%. Roku doesn't have good upside potential. All right, Alibaba, no, doesn't have good upside potential, and NKLA doesn't have good upside potential. The only one in Wayfair beat. The only one that's really got good upside potential is Wayfair. From a safety perspective, they're all pretty much not so safe. Roku, though, on the other hand, has got a relative safety above 1. Alibaba is flat. Which ones are moving up? Under Armour, 1.43, moving up in price. Roku, moving up in price. And that's even with them missing. Still moving up in price, but Alibaba and NKLA are not there. NKLA, even though they did good with earnings, but they're because of the chip shortage or so, the revenue on the forecast is not there. Sell recommendation. Let's right click. Let's view the stock graphs. Let's take a look at them. So Under Armour beat. All right. Look at that nice move. Let's go put earnings on. Under Armour beat. There was the earnings play a couple of days ago, still rising above my 20-day exponential moving average on good volume. The stock, though, so far is still a little bit of consolidation. All right, but love the nice upward move due to earnings. People like the stock. Going to Roku, they missed. But look at the rebound today. Roku is still overall, I think, a good company. Bottom left to top right. Look at that rebound with this open candle. Even though it's red, it's an open candle. A nice rebound today below the 20-day exponential moving average. If I'm thinking about getting in, I'd like to see the stock go back above the 20-day exponential moving average. I like the earnings per share and I like the earnings growth. But the decline in viewers is going to affect their business. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let's go to the next stock. Wayfair beat. Look at the move. The move was big enough to go back above the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at the volume on it. Earnings per share. Watch the earnings growth, though. But the earnings per share looks good. This could be a good move if it stays above that 20-day exponential moving average. I think it's got some good upside to the point about 339, trading at 278 right now. I like the stock. It beat the earnings. I like, from a technical standpoint, going above the 20-day exponential moving average. Nikola, their revenues, they came in short. They're looking at the chip shortage below the 20-day exponential moving average and moving down. I'm not feeling that. If I'm thinking about, you say, hey, I'm going to get into that stock, I'd do like, what? Yeah, not right now. Stock is below. There's the earnings. From the earnings, it's gone down from there. And the last stock is Alibaba. I'm thinking that, man, a lot of jumping around. This is like the house of pain. Jump around. Jump up, beat down. Is that how it goes? Something like that? Something like that. Anyway, a lot of jumping back and forth, currently below the 20 exponential moving average, and it stopped at a level of resistance of 203.82. Watch the earnings per share, not so hot. A little blip, looks like a little heartbeat in the earnings growth rate. So just be careful with Alibaba. I'm not feeling all of this Chinese choke down on the companies. I'd be careful with Chinese stocks right now. All right. Anybody got any questions on my companies, my earnings companies? Anybody? All right. Drew says, what's the word on the street for Chinese stocks? And I think still the Chinese stocks are still putting a stranglehold on their companies. If you look at a lot of them, Alibaba, if you look at NIO, you look at Li Motors, you look at XPeng, you look at TAL, you look at EDU, a lot of these companies are feeling the ill effects of what China is doing to their companies. So that's to answer your question, Drew. Wayfair has some hierarchy. I like Wayfair. I like that they beat earnings. I like that they're online, and I like that people are still buying online. I don't think that that's going to wane. I really like Wayfair as a company. As long as it stays above the 20-day exponential moving average, I like that stock. All right. Any other questions? Right? Man, I'm pumped today. Am I pumped? I'm moving. How about that? It's good. How many likes do we have so far? Listen, again, folks, if you are finding this information useful, don't be shy. Hit the like button. If you're brand new and you stumbled across this today and you like what you hear here, you get that? Here. Hit the subscribe button, folks. We're still trying to grow our live channel, and it's only you that can do it. So if you can do it, my hat goes off to you. I applaud you. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. And I love to be here and be up as pumped as I can to help you out with the stories, back them up in the VectorVest system. And, some of these stocks are good stocks to pay attention to, and some of them you may want to stay away from. My job is not to push you in either direction. My job is to do the work so that you can reap the rewards. All right, so with that, let's get to my next story. Man, I am pumped. Woo-wee. I don't have that, do I? No. Nah, it's not any of these. That's all I got is this. So you didn't put all the other ones on here. That's the one. Yeah, that ain't it. I ain't pushing that now. All right, so now my next one is about clean energy. Clean energy is still a hot spot, baby. Woo! It's still some hot nosity. Biden pushes for electric vehicles to make up half the U.S. auto sales by 2030. What's that, 9 years from now? That's a short time period. That's an aggressive ask to say that up to half the U.S. auto sales by 2030 in 9 years. I'm telling you, More and more companies are committing to clean energy or electric vehicles. I don't care if it's up and down, up and down, up and down. I think long term, EVs are going to be a great play, and you guys are getting an opportunity to a certain extent to get in on the ground floor on many of these companies. All right, we've done videos on them, NIO versus Tesla. I've done on countless amounts of Trending Thursdays, stories on EVs, and I'm doing that again today. Now, I'm going to take a little different spin on EVs today, because DHL, great story. DHL, what just happened? Orders 12 Eviation planes, plans first electric network. Eviation is a very interesting company. I found a couple of companies out there that are into electric planes. So when I talk about the electric motor, that's why I'm still holding on to my X-Row shares. That electric motor from X-Row is going to play, I think, at some point in time, a big role in all of these electric motors. And I think X-Row is going to be a hell of a company to be in, which is why I've been holding about 10,500 shares of X-Row. All right, and it goes up, it goes down, but this is a long-term play. And I think that with the Biden story, that by 2030 that he's looking for half of the auto sales to be electric, this is big. This is big for this industry, folks. This is big for this industry. But DHL orders 12 Eviation planes. So I said, what is Eviation? I had to go find them. They're under a parent company. Oh, man, I forgot the name of the parent company. They're under a parent company. Oh, man, you can't trade this company. All right, and the parent company that it's under, it's a Chinese company in Shanghai. You can't trade it either. It's a publicly traded company. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this plane. Alice, it's got 440 nautical miles, max range on an electric plane. It can fly up to 220 knots. Right now, it can only hold 9 passengers, and it's got a max, take that off real quick. It's got a max weight of 2,500 pounds. Me and Joey can't fly on it. Say what? Yeah, 2,500 pounds. So this is a very interesting story that DHL is going to order planes from this company, Eviation. Now, I wanted to see another story about this, and this is a bigger company. How about United Airlines is buying 100 zero-emission electric planes from a Swedish startup? I can't buy into this company yet. But, folks, when I'm talking to you about EVs, electric vehicles, folks, you're watching this happen real life before it becomes history. More and more companies are getting into electric vehicles, and this is another spin. I haven't seen anybody talking on YouTube about electric planes yet. All right, but United Airlines is buying 100 of these planes. The airliner is confident that the Heart Aerospace, it's a startup, so it's not even publicly traded, can bring its 19-seat electric aircraft to the market by 2026. That's 5 years from now, folks. I'm telling you, this space is a hot space. All right, and is nuclear energy considered clean energy? Yeah, Drew, I'm still thinking that I ain't knowing if I'm going to fly around in a nuclear-powered plane. The only people that's using nuclear power is the military on, like, the aircraft carrier, all right, or submarines, all right? But I think in the commercial space, I don't know where nuclear-powered vehicles stand just yet. When you have electric, when you have hydrogen, I did a story on hydrogen last week, and a lot of people were saying, be careful with that. I did a little bit more research, and you're right. I'd be careful when it comes down to hydrogen overall. Electric still seems the way to go. Tesla's ahead of the game, especially with their batteries. Look at some of these lithium battery companies. All of this stuff is just wrapping up into a nice little package for you guys This is a really hot industry, and I'm pushing it. I ain't pumping it, but the data is there. The news is there. The companies committing to electric is there. All right, bigger and bigger companies are going on board with it. And when you see a United Airlines, or you're looking at, again, DHL, a shipping company getting into this space, it's something to keep in mind. All right, and so that's my electric story. 5 years, come on, I don't even buy green bananas. That's an old man joke, says that. Listen, you do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know something? I don't want you to let the train leave the track and you're not there. Leave the station and you're not there. That's what I don't want to see happen with you guys. All right, so I'm going to keep reporting out there. I'm going to keep putting the information in front of you. You make your own decisions, but the data that you see is supporting a lot of this stuff for you. Speaking of Tesla, I'm seeing them installing solar panels all over the place. That's another way. So 2 other ways for clean energy are solar and wind. All right, I've done stories on both solar and wind along with electric. A lot of people are going after the renewable energy, and it's been hot and heavy for the past few years. It's getting hotter and heavier now. With this, it's getting hot in here. Don't be taking off all your clothes. All right, just don't be doing that. It ain't that hot. Right, Joey? All right, Jay, don't keep your clothes on, Jay. All right, so let's go look at the companies that I have set up for this story. Where's the one that says VV? I should just do it over here. There we go. All right, so what companies am I looking at? Tesla, the big boys in this space. What else am I looking at? There is DHL. Now, I've got a stock that I like. You know me, when it comes down to looking at a space, I like giving you an opportunity to look at an ETF that covers the whole space. Drive is it. How about Blink Charging? I talked about this a while ago. I still like this because electric cars have to be charged. This is not the only electrical charging company that's out there, but it's one that I know of and I like. How many stocks did I have in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. NEO is, I'm missing NEO. There it is. There's NEO. So here's all my stocks in the EV space. The only one that I really, really like in the space based on my watch list is Tesla. How about DHL is in the top half? Drive is right in the middle. NEO and Blink Charging towards the bottom of the list. All right, let's go look at all of them on a graph. And Tesla, everybody knows about Tesla. I'll put on a 6-month graph. Look at the stock currently above a 20-day exponential moving average. Broke through a level of resistance of 696.18 a couple of days ago, staying above it. I think that it's going to test it as a level of support. Couple of days of indecision. I've got another level of resistance sitting right here at a high of 780. Currently, it's trading at 715. If you're in it, that's a profit target for me, sitting at about 780. All right, you got some space. The stock is from that low. Look at that, moving higher, breaking above and above my 20 exponential moving average. Look at the earnings per share, the earnings growth right on line. Now, here's DHL. DHL is channeling. I'm thinking that the news about trying to go into an electric fleet of planes, at least from the start, I think that's going to take a little time to catch up. The stock is still sitting between a level of resistance of 70.03 and a level of support at 67.14. It's sitting at about a $3 channel. Moving averages don't work very well in a channeling stock, but overall sitting in a channel. But I like the earnings per share. I like the earnings growth rate. Volume is not there right now. Actually, let me just put that on a 3-month graph. Yeah, my volume still shows up a little better here. Overall, in a 3-month channel, about a 2-month channel, just be careful with this stock. Let's see what the news is. Now, they're dabbling in these airplanes. I think it could be a big catalyst to move the stock's price higher, but it's going to take some time to find out. What else is in here? Drive. This is the ETF that looks at cars, looks at just the electric cars. That's it in a nutshell. And as this gets more prevalent, as this infrastructure bill goes through, a lot of things are going to be tied into the electric vehicle. Right now, it's moving sideways. If you're not in it, I'd look about 12 cents higher than the high of 29.06. I like that the 3 and the 8 it's above the 20-day exponential moving average. Even though it's moving sideways, it's got a level of support sitting at 28.42. Volume is there. Because it's an ETF, earnings and earnings growth rate won't show. But it is bottom left, top right, a lot of sideways move. This could be a good spot to be for playing the whole industry in one ticker symbol. Next stock, Blink. Now, Blink has been a tough one because it's not the only charging unit out there, but it is one that's known. I'd be careful with this. The stock is channeling. Watch the earnings per share and earnings growth rate. Not really there as we saw with some of the other companies. Volume picked up today. It's above average, but still sitting in a channel between 36.97 as a level of a high and a level of a low of 32.35. Sitting in about a $4 channel. Again, moving averages are not good in a sideways move, but it's challenging that level of 36.97. If it breaks above there, I would take this as a more aggressive play because the earnings and earnings growth rate is not there. Same thing with NEO. NEO is the biggest company in China, like Tesla here in the United States. NEO is China's Tesla. And again, with all of the crackdown on their companies, NEO, good company like NEO is feeling the effects as well, sitting in a channel with a level of support of 42.67 and a level of resistance at 47.32, currently trading at 46.08. Would like to see it break above that level of resistance. All right, so those are my EV stocks. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got any questions? As I look at my Duke cup
Boo.
and drink some more Cafe Bustelo.
You said another story?
Huh?
You said one more story?
I got one more story. I'm almost done. I got you. Oh, shut up. Stop being such a little crybaby. Oh, wrong one. I don't want that one. I'm doing it again. All right. No more stories. Electric planes, quick charge, get hit by lightning. Wow, Drew. I'm not looking at that. Who's going to drive you home tonight is a good song. Wow. All right, let's go to my last story. And then go put this into web stories. Last story, talking about you know what the hottest industry was for the last 10 days? Anybody want to take a guess at it? This industry was up 237% over the last 2 trading weeks. Anybody want to take a guess at what it was? What is the stock symbol for the electric motor? It was XROF, EXRO. If I look at it here, what's the ticker symbol? Oops. What's the ticker symbol? XRO, EXROF, EXROF. All right? Nobody's telling me what they thought the fastest moving industry was over the last 10 days. And it was up. It was up 237%.
Crypto.
Nope, it was cryptocurrency, folks. Cryptocurrency. 237% in the last 10 days. So, Bitcoin, mining crackdown in China is a boon for Texas. So, it is a mining company and they're coming to a little town in Texas. John King knew his small town of Rockdale, Texas, had landed on the global crypto map when 3 Chinese Bitcoin miners. So these are Bitcoin miners that were in China. China's cracking down on them. They brought their business to the United States, to a little town, Rockdale, Texas. 3 Chinese Bitcoin miners showed up at City Hall unannounced this summer. Then came the phone calls to the city's Chamber of Commerce from investors asking about power hookups to connect mining equipment they plan to ship from China. This is big news for a little town in Texas. Ooh-wee. So when we talk about the miners, the 2 biggest miners that are out there, are Mara and Riot. All right, so keeping that in mind, my next story, Bitcoin mining becomes more efficient. So a lot of people didn't like what was going on with the Bitcoin mining because all of the electricity it took So I found this story that just came out 4 days ago. Bitcoin mining becomes more efficient, energy efficient, block invests. According to a new study from Cambridge University, the carbon footprint of Bitcoin may be improving as the geography of Bitcoin mining has changed in the last 6 months. With the shutdown of Chinese mining, the environmental impact only stands to gain from here. So China cutting down on their companies in China are going to force a lot of them to come over to the United States. And as I showed in the previous story, a little town in Texas is going to be the beneficiary of that mining. And it is becoming a little bit more efficient without using up as much energy. So those are my 2 stories. And the 2 companies from a bit mining perspective are going to be Myra and Riot. Those are my 2 mining companies, the biggest ones out there. And you know something, with them doing as much mining as they are, they're relatively inexpensive, folks. They're relatively inexpensive. You may want to add another EV, ETF, cars. I'm already working on that, Mohammed. Better VST than Drive. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to look at, I don't think we have that as a ticker symbol yet. KARS. Oh, we do. All right. So you know something? I'm going to put cars up there. I didn't realize we did have that. And before I go into Riot and Mara, let's go look at cars and go look at Drive. Let's go look at VST 1.49 on cars, 1.26. Let's go look at their graphs. I'm good with that. Cars looks good. Bottom left, top right. A little gappy though. A little gappy. And if I look at Drive is a little less gappy. And let's check the volume on both. I'm looking at 800,000 here just in the last couple of days. Carl's, look at that. Drive trades a lot heavier than cars. Drive trades a lot heavier than cars. It's got more volume than cars. But I'm going to keep that in mind as far as an ETF as well. All right. Drive's got a lot more volume. All right, so I'd rather have you in a ETF that's got the volume. Not that cars is a bad pick. They both look good, but Drive's got more volume. All right, so now let's go look at what we were looking at. We were just looking at Riot and Mara. Let's go look at their equity curves. Oh, I didn't mean to add it to a watch list. Right click, view the stock graph. Let's go peep it out. All right, so we know that crypto. Man, all it takes is something from Elon Musk to say, I hate crypto. Crypto gets big. Oh, I like crypto again. And crypto goes up. He's the influencer that's moving crypto. But Mara right now, and actually I hold Riot. I'm in Riot with the most recent move up again. And you know something? If you ever get out of either Riot or Mara, I like looking at the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at when it gets up there. It goes, comes back down. It stayed. And then once it goes below, I'm loving using the 20-day exponential moving average to track both Riot and Mara. All right, so a little bit of a sideways move, but nice up day, broke through a level of resistance. I'm liking that from that perspective on good volume. And the other one, like I said, I'm currently in Riot, the same kind of scenario. Above the 20-day exponential moving average is good. Below the 20-day exponential moving average is a way to get out. This is a good way to play Riot or Mara up or down. All right, that 20-day exponential moving average. I think it does a really good job keeping you in and out of the stock at the right time. Here in my Carl feels safest of all, can lock all my door. Oh, what are you talking about, John? Sigh. Texas may not be good idea given electric problems. Well, Con, I'm not going to deny that. But evidently the Chinese miners are thinking about, listen, we're going to go to this little town and we're going to rock this town and rock it inside out. You know what's interesting about Riot right now is I own it. I wanted to show you something. It's got a current level of resistance sitting at about 35.41. Stock's trading at 33.94 and above the 20-day exponential moving average. If it can break above this, it's got some more upside. Love the earnings per share and earnings growth. I am going to keep this value in mind of 35.41. If it can break above this, the stock's got good upside to the value of the next resistance level of 39.74. All right. Anybody got any questions about my EV stocks. Glenn, it's Gary Newman, and the song is called Cars. Thank you. Thank you. He's talking about the song. Oh, is that what it was? And you talking about here in my car? Oh, I got you. John, I was humming that too. Okay, I got you. Anybody got any questions about my stories on EVs? All right. Let me see. If not, I'm going to build my watch list today. Where's my watch list? Didn't I name it a watch list? YouTube. Didn't I have a watch list name for it? I thought I did. Yeah, weekly watch list. There it is. Let's empty it out because you know what time it is, right? All right, it's time to go look at your stocks. You know, I do it a new way now is I build a watch list of your stocks. And we're going to take a look at where everybody's stocks sit. So if you've got your stock in place and you look at the whole list, you can get a first glimpse of how good or bad your stock is compared to everybody else's stock up there. All right. So I like that idea. You guys, nobody has said anything adverse about it. So I think this is a good way of looking at it. When we look at your stocks, LHX, WIN, CTRM, I'm just going down this list. LVS, BBH.
Can we see if Weber's in there?
Say again?
Weber IPO'd today. Can we see if it's in
WEB.
ER?
I ain't got it.
We don't have it yet?
All right. Thank you, though, Joey. I'm not Mark puts mug. Really, Mark? Lowe's, XBio. NVAX, somebody wanted that, say again, XOM, Exxon, ATCX, Joey's going to shut me off when it's time, HIBB, LRCX, Hood, yeah, I made 100% on Hood, I made 100 and got out of it, I got Fulgent, I've got HBB, MYRG, Joey didn't tell me stop yet, so one more. SPWR. All right, those are my stocks for today, folks. All right, if you look down below, you're going to see a link for any stock that I did not put into there. Thank you, Ivan. I love that. Foolish Genetics. Oh, that's FLGT. I already got that up in here. There, Flugent. There it is. I got you, Ivan. And you know something? A super chat would get your stock up there. I ain't gonna lie. But Flugent is up there, Ivan. Super chat and NVAX I already put up in here as well. All right. So notice we've got 21 stocks. And out of all of the stocks, just like Ivan paid a super chat for, look at that. Flugent is number 3 in the list. Novavax is number 2 in the list, and these are sorted by our master indicator VST. The ones at the bottom of the list, if you gave me these, how about the 2 stocks in Vegas? They're at the bottom of the list. CTRM, even though it's up nicely today, at the bottom of the list. Exxon, Hood, so on. So I love this idea of putting them into a watch list for you. So as you gave me these stocks, you'll see where they all sit. And JM, these are the stocks that I'm going to look at today. If you look below this video, you'll see a link for a free stock analysis report. VectorVest Live. If it wasn't for the power of VV, I would have never known of MYRG. MYRG. Look at that, and it's number 4 on the list. It's number 4 on the list. All right, how many likes did we get today?
55.
All right, again, this is my last time for asking for likes. If you like what you see here, and if you like the power that the watch list can do for you right from the onset, we haven't done anything. We just put these stocks into a watch list. If you think that that's worth to at least show you which stocks are better than other stocks, put the likes in there. That's a powerful piece of the software right there, folks. That's a powerful piece before we do anything. All right, let's graph them all.
Can we start with FLGT for Ivan?
Yep. Watch this. You want me to start with FLGT for Ivan? There it is. We start with FLGT for Ivan. I've got on here that on 7/14/2021, it was overshorted. It was 29.9% shorted. But look at the move most recently coming. And this is a fib level. Look at that. The fib level of 61.8. It got there. Boom. Look at it go above the 20-day exponential moving average and rock and roll and rock and roll and rock and roll. All right. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. Even though it's a red candle today, it's an open candle. Stocks price is still moving up. Watch earnings per share, though. Watch earnings per share. It's falling. The volume is there. The equity curve is there. Broke through a couple of levels of resistance. I like the stock hitting a new 3-month high today. I would wait to see. If I'm not in it, I'd wait to see if it could take that high out. If you are in it, the 20-day exponential moving average is doing a great job keeping you in it. All right, so because of the super chat, Ivan, I started with yours. Wow, Moderna, we looked at. Watch the give back today. All right, a lot of people, and it's good on a little bit above average volume. That's a lot of give backs. I believe that's some profit taking because this stock has done so well. I'm believing that's a little bit of profit taking going on today, but it doesn't. If you're in it, leave it alone. If you're in it, leave it alone. Next stock, Novavax, a little bit more choppy than Moderna. Broke through a level of resistance today of 229.50. A little bit of wick at the top on good volume, good earnings per share, good earnings growth. I want to see if it will now challenge this level of 229.50 as a level of support now. Let's see. It broke through today. Let's see another candle above and moving up. If it starts to test this level of 229, if it falls below, you might want to think about getting out of it or waiting for a better opportunity. All right, Coin is in the crypto space, Sue. Coin, we did a live IPO segment on our live channel with Coin when it first came out. Flugent, we just looked at. Again, thank you for the super chat, Ivan. MRIG, wow. You know where this is in? What space do you think this is in? And I'm probably going to do a video on this space next week. What space do you think that this is in, especially with what's going on in the government? All right, what space do you think that's in? It starts with an I. Let's see if anybody can come up with it. What space is that in? It is in infrastructure. Why are you saying it before they said it? It's in the infrastructure space. I like this stock. Now, John, did you find this on our infrastructure watch list that we have out there for you? And he's right. You would have never found a stock like this. We have a watch list of infrastructure stocks, and this is possibly in it. I'm thinking it may be. I don't know for sure. It may or may not be. Nice open today. Broke above a most recent level of resistance at 97.53. Like that. Let's see if we can stay above it tomorrow. Let's see if we can watch the volume, though. I'd like to see if it can stay above it tomorrow. But bottom left, top right, like that. I do like that. Let's go to the next stock. Woo! Atlas Technology. That's a little bit parabolic. Be careful with that. Not only that, look at the stock's price moving up. Watch volume. Volume is not really rocking and rolling with it. Just be careful with this. A lot of give back right here, trading at 13.54. When everybody went to sleep last night, this stock was trading at a close of 12.98. Today it went up as high as 15.10. Was there news on this that I don't know about? Could be. It's up 4.5% today. Atlas Technical Consult moved 7% higher. Will this strength last? All right, let me see if I can answer that question. Will this strength last? Not if the volume doesn't pick up with the trading. Not if the volume doesn't pick up with the trading. All right, and I'm going to look at this a different way. Let's go look at this from a trade perspective with the 3 and the 8. The tree is trailing up way higher. RT is rising, and the volume is picking up. I don't know. With today's candle, though, that's a lot of indecision on the candle and a lot of give back. I'd be careful if you're in it. If you've made some money, don't be afraid to take some of that off the table. All right, next one, Volt. I like that it broke above a level of resistance at 528. It did that day before yesterday. It challenged it yesterday. Look at the close candle. It challenged that level of support at 528. And look at it today. This stock's got some good upside. All right. It challenged this level of support. Now we're above it. If you're not in it, though, I'd like to look at 5 cents higher than the high. If you're in it, I like that challenge to that level of support. After it did break out and follow through today, I like that. I like that stock. I like the equity curve. I like it from the technicals. LRCX, a little bit of a channel, down day today. Probably wouldn't touch it today. Never going to tell you to get into a stock when the stock's price is going down. You found it on Unisearch a year ago. That's what you found it, John? I got you. All right, so if you're not in it, I'd wait till it breaks above at least this level of resistance of 654. If you are in it, leave it alone. The 3 and the 8 still say end of day you're still okay. All right, but the stock is sitting in a channel. Look at that. It came back into that level of 648.97, now serving as a level of resistance. It broke above, but couldn't stay above. That's what makes me tell you be careful with that stock, all right? Lowe's, as much as I love this company, I'm a big Jimmy Johnson fan, even though he's not in NASCAR, he's now an open wheel. I like this company, but right now is not the right time to be in it. The 3 is below the 8, so it's got a downtrend, challenging a level of support of 190. If you're in it, 190.60. If you're in it, if it goes below that level, you might want to think about pulling that trade off the table. All right, but it's in a channel between 198.35 as a level of resistance and 190.60. A little $8 channel right here, but right now at the bottom of that channel, just holding on to that level of support. RT is just below 1. Be careful with this. As much as, again, as I like the stock, it's not the right time to be in it, all right? As I look at LHX, telecommunications, this could be in the infrastructure space, bottom left, top right. Little give back today, little indecision yesterday, little spinning top, little give back, inverted hammer. Watch this stock. Watch this stock. If you own it, be careful. All right. Sentiment could be changing on the stock. 2 days of big wicks at the top, some selling pressure. Be careful with this. Now, I know that it just hit a new 3-month high today, but I see some possible change in sentiment. Take that for all it's worth. Next stock, HIB, pulled down off of that high, trending lower, challenging a level of support of 83.34. It's holding. Now, if I really wanted to think about getting out of it when the 3.8 first crossed bearish, that was a good opportunity to get out there when the stock price was trading at 90.11. It's now at 84.85. I like getting in on the 3.8 crossovers and getting out on the 3.8 crossovers and using that from a trade perspective as a way to get in and out. Now, let's go change this to a swing perspective, looking at the 20-day exponential moving average. Look at that. Slows it down, keeps you in a little longer, but currently below the 20-day exponential moving average. But the saving grace right now is the level of support at 83.34. Let's go to the next stock, ABBV, going down. At a level of support, sitting at 114.38. Right now, it's trading at 114.94. If you didn't get out on the crossover, whether it's on the 3 and the 8 or the 20-day exponential moving average, this is your line in the sand. Again, 114.38. If it falls below it, you might want to think about getting out of the stock. All right? You might want to think about that. I like the earnings per share. It is rising. Earnings growth is good. But again, there's a bad time to even be in a good stock. Let's go to the next one, eBay. Ooh, what just happened with eBay? What's that candlestick pattern right there? Stock's price had a little bit of an inverted hammer change. Look at that pullback below the 20-day exponential moving average. Pull down, pull down, pull down. The body is above this level of support of 67.35. But that is a hammer formation. eBay could be setting up from a technical standpoint. If I'm not in it, I'd want to see what happens with tomorrow's candle. That could show the first sign of the change in sentiment. Break above that level of 20-day exponential moving average. That's the second way to get in. Third way is to see if it breaks above that level of resistance of 70.92. I've given you 3 ways to get into eBay at the right time. 1 is tomorrow candle green. That's the super aggressive way to get into it. If you want to slow it down a little bit, go above the 20-day exponential moving average. And if you want more confirmation, let's go above this level of resistance of 70.92. All right, 3 different ways to get in to that stock. BBH, I like this stock. Look at that bottom left, top right. It's an ETF because I've got anything on the bottom. Stock's price hitting a new 3-month high, sitting at 217.87. I'd like to see it break above that if I'm not in it. If you are in it, the 20-day exponential moving average is keeping you in it. How about this break above the level of resistance and still going higher and above the 20-day exponential moving average? Love either one of those as an entry, and look at that still going up. All right, let's go to the next one, ARCF. This is the ETF, the Cathy Wood, I think, maybe. Wow, I like the candlestick right here. A little bit of a hammer, bounce off support. Yesterday broke above the 20-day exponential moving average, followed through today, but I've got more headwind sitting at 53.45. I'd like to see it break above that. That's exactly where it stopped. I love looking at technical analysis to help me to gauge when to get in or out of a stock. Hood, brand new, big move up yesterday, a little bit of give back today, but a huge move again yesterday. I've been in the stock for less than 4 trading days, 100%. I pulled that trade off the table. All right, so on real quick, Dennis, I'm going to show you where that infrastructure watch list is after we take a look at these stocks. Exxon Motors, oil, be careful with right now. It had a little bit of run. Saudis were saying, yeah, we're going to regulate, blah, 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 and that didn't come through. That level of the 20-day exponential moving average actually served as a beautiful level of resistance, right? Look at that, and now below it, I'm not ready to touch ExxonMobil yet. First thing I'm looking for, it's got a couple of levels of resistance to get through and that 20-day exponential moving average. That's what I'd really like to see on ExxonMobil is the stock's price break above the 20-day exponential moving average. Everything else about the stock is good. Let the stock come to you, though. I'd really like to see it break above that 20-day exponential moving average. All right, what's the next stock in here? SunPower, clean energy, in a channel. A level of resistance at 25.37, a level of support at 22.14. Right now, it's at 23.31. Look at the big wick at the top. I got a little bit of give back. I got some bearish pressure on here. But the saving grace is this level of support sitting at 22.14. If it falls below that, I'd probably say you might want to consider taking some of that off the table. Woo! CTRM. Gotta love that big move above the 20-day exponential moving average, folks. How about that? They said that they're talking about they're making some money. Even though it's not time for earnings, they talked about that they made some money. But look at where it stopped out. Look at that fib number sitting at the 23.6. Look at the wick where it stopped at. All right, so it's currently above the 20-day exponential moving average. Let's see if it's got some wherewithal to keep moving higher. Big volume. Let's see if the news can keep the stock going or will it flop. I just did a video on it. If you haven't looked at our other channel, go check out our video on CTRM. I showed the reasons why the stock wasn't moving, but that I overall still like the stock. And they're making money. All right, so again, if you haven't looked at the video on our other channel, I invite you to do so. How many likes do we got, Joey? I said I wasn't going to ask anymore. I'm asking for one more time. If you like the analysis that we're doing on these stocks too, hit the like button. I got a couple more stocks still left to do. Woo! XBio, lot of jagosity going on. A lot of give back by here. That's a candlestick pattern known as a shooting star follow through. That was a possible change in the sentiment. We got confirmation. Stock's price, even though it's up today, is still below the high, still below these 2 big red candles. I'd like to see it get past these 2 red candles to show that it's got some more legs to the upside. Currently still above the 20-day exponential moving average, but I'd wait if I'm not in the stock yet. If you are in the stock and you're waiting for the 20-day, you're doing fine. All right, you're doing fine. What else is in here? Wow. The last 2 are the Las Vegas stocks. Nice move up today, but still below the 20-day. Nice volume, the whole 9 yards. Am I ready to pull the trigger on it yet? No. If I'm going to be aggressive about it, let's see if I can get a second day of a green candle. That's the aggressive way of getting in. And then if I need more confirmation, let's break above the 20 exponential moving average. And then if I still need more confirmation, let's break above this level of resistance of 120.44. Guess what? If you do get in, that would be my first profit target of 120.44. And then the last one is the other Las Vegas stock. Same scenario. So I don't know what's going on with the Las Vegas stocks today. Nice up day. Let's see if it's got followed through the next day with another up green candle before you pull the trigger. Again, that's a more aggressive way. If you want to slow it down to get more confirmation, let's wait until it breaks above that level of the 20-day exponential moving average. Folks, that's it for today. Woo! High five, Joey. Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. I don't know why I was so pumped. You know why? We need to go to that restaurant to eat more often.
You like that?
I like that. We had some chicken and we had burgers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know why I was so pumped, but man, we kept you guys here today. That's freaking awesome. All right, we got the likes today. Thank you so much for the likes. For those people who are new, again, do not be afraid to hit the subscribe button. We do this every week. All my regular people that are here, thank you for being here. For the people who put the super chat in there today, thank you so much for that. Again, we never asked for it, but thank you for at least telling us that you like it enough to want to pay a super chat for it. All right, FYI, Wynn reported earnings today. I'm wondering if Wynn, and there had to be news because LVS went up as well. I don't know what it was besides earnings, but again, if you want to jump on board with those on a more aggressive level, let's see if you get another green candle tomorrow. But if you need more confirmation, I would say wait until it crosses above the 20 exponential moving average. Joey, you did a good job today. Rob says, Glenn, what was your thought process on Hood for breaking your rule of not trading in the early days of IPO? Rob, you know why I did it? Because Patrick and I did an all-day stream on it. And, I saw a buying opportunity. And, it didn't fall off like Coin did. All right, it didn't fall off like Coin did. And I saw a buying opportunity. I took 10 shares. I took it. Because we were doing the live stream and I did the 100% in 4 trading days, I took the money. Yeah, you're right, Rob. I don't like normally touching IPOs, but this IPO was a lot different than Coin. It was a lot different than Coin. Now, Fernando says Vegas is on fire. Vegas is on fire is what? You're literally on fire? No, California is on fire. Vegas is not on fire. You mean that literally or figuratively? You mean that literally or figuratively? 1,000% increase in year-over-year revenue for Wynn. It wouldn't take a lot for it to have 1,000% increase year-over-year with last year being so horrible. All right, so I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. 1,000%, that makes sense. If I was up $2 last year and up $20 this year, that's a big move. So there we go with that. All right. If there's no more questions, 1, thank you guys for being here. 2, again, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. 3, hit the like button, especially if you found this useful. 4, hit the bell icon so you'll be alerted to new videos like this. All right. And I want you guys to, again, when we do these, share this link. Get some people here. Get some people here to watch this presentation. All right. So with that, folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, namaste. For all my Greek people, yasu. Until next time, folks, see ya.